Hi, this is Savannah,
And this is Brian from the Dorky Diva Show,
and you're listening to Star Wars.
the best place for below average Star Wars.
In a world where people need 80s and 90s movie reviews, two regular Geordies combine forces to bring you the Brother to Brother 80s and 90s movie review podcast. Check them out on Twitter, YouTube, and all decent podcast vendors.
Star Wars, best place for below average Star Wars.
Hello there, and welcome to the Star Wars Show, the best place for below average Star Wars. I am the Geordie Jedi Pete, and I'm joined by Canon Junkie XL Iain. Iain, how are you doing?
I'm very, very good, mate. It's great to be back. Obviously, I haven't been on the show for a while with our schedules lining up, but it's good to be back and good to have a little chat about Star Wars.
Indeed, well, you've been a very busy man. You're now married. Obviously, congratulations on your marriage. How has it been so far?
It's been really good so far, yeah. Really, really good. Like I said, we had a great day back in October. It was really, honestly, it was one of the best days of my life. It was so much fun. And, just excited to see where it goes later on. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm sure, obviously, I met yourself and the lovely Lucy in London after your big day. And, you look really happy and fantastic. So as long as you keep that happiness going, you'll have an absolutely fantastic life. That's what I found with my wife. So you'll be all right,
Thank
mate.
you,
And don't buy as many Star Wars figures as you used to, is my advice.
I can buy more now because I'm not saving everything for the wedding, so it's good.
There you go. There you go. Put that logic on it. But no, obviously, it's good to have you back on the show. Obviously, it's December. Christmas is coming up. Probably talk a little bit Star Wars Christmas later on, but a couple of big things that have dropped. I think we'll just dive straight in. Number one, obviously, a show that both of us are very excited about, we've expressed in the past, is The Acolyte, which is going to be sort of the Sith Dark Side series set probably about 150 years before the prequel trilogy, before The Phantom Menace, set sort of towards the end of the High Republic era, which is being told in Star Wars Publishing currently. And, they've started shooting that, finally. And some images were leaked in the Daily Mail of all shit rags. So we've had our first sort of official images, but not official images, if that makes sense, because essentially some journalists just took some pictures and then published them. What were your thoughts on? I know you're very excited for this series, but obviously we got to sort of see some Jedi characters in these pictures. So how excited were you in seeing sort of this show? We're really excited about sort of come to life in front of us now.
I'm really excited. Like I said, I saw the images of the Jedi and the aliens, which is also hugely exciting. I do like when Star Wars has a lot of aliens in it. Hugely excited. It's good to see Jedi again, like especially in an era which obviously is nearer the Phantom Menace, but we haven't seen Jedi like this for a long time, if you know what I mean. So it is good to see that. I'm really excited for the show. Like I said, anything dark side related, I'm down for. If you know what I mean. But other than that, yeah, no, really hugely excited.
Yeah, I think for me, I think we hit the nail on the head there when we said, we're seeing sort of Jedi in a more traditional way. Even more traditional way than we used to, because in the prequels, we say Jedi, they've all got their sort of very neutral toned robes, the beiges, the browns, dark browns, greys. As we've seen in the High Republic Publishing, some of it's a lot brighter. It's like yellows and bronzes and golds we sort of weaved in there. And then, in these images we saw most of that traditional High Republic type colorway. We saw a Wookiee Jedi in there, which was quite cool. So yeah, I think we're going to see, although we've been told this series is going to deal with the dark side, the dark side and the light side, go very close together, balance. Are we going to see sort of someone from the Jedi Order go dark, or are we just going to see darkness interacting with the Jedi? Who knows? But I thought two things. I think it was great to see the show was actually in production, and the fact we've got set pictures. I would have much rather had the professional set pictures from the promotions team all looking lovely and selected shots to tease us. Where
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the production team because they've sort of they've had their ability to share with us the first images taken away from them, and we've now been sort of shown these images that are just bog standard photographs that no one in Lucasfilm's chosen, sort of shared. So they've had that. They've had their opportunity to share with us the first product taken away from them, which is a bit sad. And I imagine they're a bit bummed about that as a production team. But yeah, other than that, I think the aliens look good. The Jedi robes look good. Seem to be set in quite a sort of like foresty type areas, a lot of Greenland. So I think maybe we could see quite a lot of sort of natural locations, almost similar to the Andor shoot, where it's not so much on the in the Disney Super Studio. It's more out and about and being filmed on location, which is quite cool. What were your thoughts on seeing a Wookiee Jedi of all Jedis?
Really, really cool. Like I said, there's Buriaga, who is a Wookiee Jedi in the Fallen Order in the High Republic books. He's a Wookiee Jedi. Obviously, we got Gunji in the Clone Wars, who is going to make a comeback in the Bad Batch because he's in the new trailer. So no, really excited. Like I said, this show. I've heard all sorts of rumors about this show. Like I said, I won't get into rumors, but I think the synopsis for the show is a Jedi and his Padawan investigating a string of murders that obviously leads down a certain way. Obviously, I think that certain way will lead them to coming close to discovering the existence of the Sith about 150 years before the Phantom Menace. Obviously, they will not find out. Well, they might find out. We don't know what will happen to them, but obviously the wider Jedi Order will not find out that it's the Sith. But no, hugely excited. I'm a massive fan of stuff like the Darth Plagueis novels and all that type of thing. If this show can take a bit of that, a bit of subterfuge on the Sith, a bit of secrecy, then I think it would be amazing. And like I said, we haven't had much dark side stuff on, like, from the perspective of the dark side user ever, really. So I think that'll be hugely exciting to see what the Sith are up to and how that works into, obviously, the show. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I wonder how old Palpatine is in canon when we see him in Phantom Menace. Because I wonder if there's a chance that we could see him in this series, or if not, is it his master who's pulling the strings currently?
I do think I have, obviously, his rumours and that. I have seen rumours that Darth Plagueis will be in this show. Whether that's real or not, as I said, that's just a rumour I've seen. That would be class. I don't know. Obviously, Darth Plagueis' master was Darth Tenebrous. Maybe we see that, but like, if I see anything with Hugo Damask or Rugis Gnome, which is obviously their names in the galaxy, that'll be class. I think it'd be too early for Palpatine, but then, like I said, I don't know if this is just a one-shot season or potentially whether we do more seasons where we get closer to Phantom Menace and bring in a young Palpatine who trains. Because, like I said, that's in the Darth Plagueis novel, and that is my favourite Star Wars book of all time.
Yeah, definitely very exciting things coming. Yeah, I think, excited to get the show. Excited to see how it's going to tie in sort of the prequel trilogy into the High Republic era. And I think it's going to bridge that series of books, which will come to an end in a couple of years, into the movie universe, which is really cool. Speaking of connections, I think, in these images we saw a Wookiee Jedi. And you're right, Wookiee Jedi is quite central in the art for the High Republic, so it ties it back. And then also, in that new Bad Batch trailer, we saw Gunji ignite that lightsaber as a Padawan from Clone Wars. So these pictures sort of tie in with both the past and the future timelines from where this series is set, which I thought was quite cool. I also thought that, the Jedi robes, the tie into the High Republic era, but also, in that Jedi Survivor, the Fallen Order sequel game that's coming out, in the trailer for that, we see a character sort of in similar, like, sort of beigey, goldy type robes. So, there's definitely a few tie-ins there visually into sort of a game, what's behind it and what's in front of it story-wise. So this Acolyte show could fit in and tie into both what came before it and came in front of it, which I think, again, is sort of, absolutely fantastic opportunity to tell some really, really good storylines and really sort of blend itself into the entire Star Wars canon. I think
100%, mate. No, sorry, mate. I'd say 100%, mate. Yeah, I could totally agree with that. It's really cool. Anything. I'll always be. My favourite Star Wars stories will always involve the Jedi and the Sith. As much as I love stuff like Rogue One and all that type of thing, I am a sucker for the Force and all that type of stuff.
Definitely. I think moving on from that, obviously we've had some news of obviously the Warner Brothers Discovery merger happened. A lot of projects got sort of axed off the back of it. Some mainly for tax purposes. You look at Batgirl, things like that. And then obviously they've had the reshuffle now with the new heads of DC. Now Peter Safran and James Gunn.
James Gunn.
So they're making some changes. You know, Superman's out. Henry Cavill's out of Superman. It looks like Wonder Woman 3 is not happening. Patty Jenkins has come out with a statement, you know, to say no, it's not. And, you know, very interesting statement. Just talk about, you know, she was obviously in development with Rogue Squadron, a Star Wars movie, which is, you know, quite public with that announcement and the, you know, promo footage that they even filmed of her enjoying X-Wings and the connection between, you know, our family in the Air Force and X-Wings and Rogue Squadron. Very powerful stuff. And then in this statement, I thought was quite cool. She sort of alludes to the fact that, you know, she came on board, she was developing Rogue Squadron. Then became apparent that Wonder Woman 3 was taking a bit longer to develop, so she had to essentially leave the project to do Wonder Woman 3 still, to develop that. Lucasfilm was sort of like, okay, sort of that contract's up, but we still want to develop this, and we still want to develop it with you, not someone else. We could just replace you, but we're not going to. So that Lucasfilm had two choices there. They could just shelve the project, or they could just bring someone else in to take the lead. But what they did was negotiated with Patty Jenkins to, you know, actually sign a new deal, and we'll develop this in the background of your Wonder Woman 3 commitments. And, you know, we're happy to wait to get this right rather than rush to get it out now. And then obviously, you know, Wonder Woman 3's now gone from the slate. It's not in development. Pretty clear by this statement and from what the guys over at Warner Brothers Discovery are saying as well. So, you know, it's still, you know, she's very clear, but she says, you know, when things are in development doesn't mean it's ever going to get made. And the amount of movies that go into development, you know, for every 10 movies in development, maybe one gets made. But know the fact that, you know, she's still signed on, she's still developing it, and still wants to push that forward. I think it's fantastic news. I think it's good news from the studio. I think from Lucasfilm point of view, I think, you know, there's been some you know, not awesome situations. If you look at what happened with The Rise of Skywalker and losing the director of Episode 9 and having to go back to sort of J.J. Abrams. If you look what happened with Solo, you know, you're actually halfway through the shoot with Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, and, you know, you end up having to you have to end up moving away from those guys and bringing in Ron Howard to direct. If you look at sort of the Benioff and Wise situation from Game of Thrones coming in to develop and then leaving to go to Netflix, this is very much a case of, you know, they brought her on board, started developing it, became that, you know, she's tied into some of that big stuff, so she wasn't able to do it. Dave went, well, tell you what, we'll restructure your deal so we can, you're still here, still doing it with us, but we'll do it, it'll happen later. And we're committed to you and your vision on this, rather than looking to replace you or just shelve it. And then hopefully now, you know, it's still in development, and if development goes well and they get a good pitch and a good product, and, you know, they'll move into green light it. So I just thought it sounded like a breath of fresh air for me. Like, reading this statement, it was a bit like, actually, yeah, we actually sound like we're on top of things here at Lucasfilm, and we're not making rash decisions. You know, we're standing by our creatives who we've brought in, even if that means delaying a project as such. It's like, no, guess what? You're the person we want for this. You're the person who pitched it to us, and we're committed to that. And that means it comes out 3 years and it was good, and it could have been with someone else, and that's fine, because that's the product we want. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool to read the statement, and also good to see that Rogue Squadron is still in development at the studio, which is fantastic. Can't wait to see some X-Wings flying in space.
100%, yeah. Like I said, it's good to see that it's still in development. There was coming a point where I was getting quite frustrated with Lucasfilm, obviously, because, like you said, stuff's in development and it doesn't always get made, but they made a big song and dance about Rogue Squadron, and then the things came out saying, oh, potentially it's shelved and all that, and you're thinking, maybe you should start announcing stuff when it's actually, you know, for a fact you're going to do it. Because, like I said, they did the trailer with Patty Jenkins, obviously with the flight suit and all that type of thing. Hugely excited. I am just in the process now of reading the Rogue Squadron novels from the old EU, which are very highly rated. I can see why. I've read the first two. Very well done. They're very good stories. Obviously, I don't think that's what this movie will be based on, even though I hope they do take inspiration from the old Rogue Squadron novels. So yeah, hugely excited. I am at this point now where I'm missing, as much as I love the stuff on Disney Plus, I am missing going to the cinema to see a Star Wars movie. It's been, the last one was 2019, I think, was The Rise of Skywalker, and that is becoming a bit too long now, and they seem to be a bit indecisive of what they're going to do, because obviously there was supposed to be one next year at Christmas, and now I think the next one is slated for 2025. I think that's right.
Yeah, I think we need to be careful. So I think indecisive is one word. I think, the pencil dates in with the studio so that, if they have a product ready to go, that's where it'll go when it comes out. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, they're fighting to put something out there, if that makes sense. It's just...
No, I know what you're saying. I'm just saying they at the moment you keep hearing, oh, the next one will be Taika's movie, or the next one will be Rogue Squadron, or the next one will be Kevin Feige's movie. It does, whether that's just from the outside, it just looks, to me anyway, it looks a smidge bit indecisive of what they're planning to do next.
But I think that comes down to expectation. I think, So the problem is we live in the world of information now, where information comes out all the time because we've all got smartphones, right? So I think, if you look at how many studios the Walt Disney Company owns, it's more than 5, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, when they go, this is our slate for the year, and they release the slates in advance, and it'll say untitled Star Wars movie, untitled Marvel movie. That just means if our Lucasfilm studio gets a movie up and running, that's where we'll put it, because that's where there's space in the calendar to put it, and it spreads out from the other product, and that's what it's all about. It doesn't mean we are making a movie and that is coming out on that date, and we know which movie. So I think we've got to be careful of that. I think that is a lot of the problem, is that there's a lot of information out there now, but we're not all industry insiders. So
yeah, I know what you mean. But I'm just saying, for a fact Disney would want a movie out this year, next year.
Well, no, two things. I think they've obviously, Disney Plus is Disney's big. It's the money they've invested the most in Disney Plus, and haven't anything in the past decade, right?
Yeah.
So the whole Fox merger was just to get stuff to put on Disney Plus, and that was expensive. So I think Star Wars have been producing things for Disney Plus, for the streaming network, and it's probably the most watched stuff on there, right? So I think now you've had the change. Now you've got Bob Iger back. Bob Iger will want Star Wars in theaters.
Yeah,
I guarantee
he was a major driving force about getting the Force Awakens out that quickly.
So I think he'll be we need his first call being what have we got that we can put in, but also that doesn't mean go and make a shit movie and put it in cinemas, because it needs to be made correctly, it needs to feel good, and then you need to market it properly. So you need to give these things room to breathe. If you look at Solo as a movie, its marketing was absolutely shocking, and then that's why it didn't do as good as it could have done at the box office. Do you know what I mean? And I think I think you got to learn your lessons there. And you can't just go, we need a movie in cinemas, let's just do it now, bang. Because guess what? That's how you lose money.
I'm not saying rush a film out. That's not what I'm saying. I'm literally just saying, maybe just me personally, I'm missing going to the theatres for a Star Wars film, and that's I would never want them to rush anything. But if everything had gone to plan, then we would have had a Star Wars movie by now, if you know what I mean.
So which Star Wars movie would we have had?
All right, maybe not now, but I think if everything had gone to plan, we would have got one next year, if you know what I mean.
Okay, so I think you got to look at the creatives we're tying into the studio, or Taika Waititi, one of the hottest directors on the planet right now, was Patty Jenkins, who at the time was one of the hottest directors on the planet at the time, which is why she was doing Wonder Woman 3. And so I don't think it's a case of we don't know what we're doing and that's why movies are out. It's actually the people who come in to make movies are doing other things and are very successful. You hire Ryan Johnson, he's got the Knives Out movies that are the hottest thing on the planet right now. The new ones just come out, he's signed up to Netflix deal to make those, and they want them now type of thing. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's not a case of we're going to twiddle our thumbs and we're doing what we're doing. It's a case of the people that brought in are working on stuff, but these people it's not the only thing that person's working on. Do you know what I mean? So I just think it's dangerous to think that. Do you know what I mean? That it's a case of it's in.
I know what you're saying. I'm not trying to come across where I say, they don't know what they're doing. I'm just saying, I don't know. Potentially, just like with a few things, potentially, I just think they could have handled things a bit more.
Yeah, it's one of those things. They could just not announce anything, but then
Yeah.
like podcasts, when we get to talk about Star Wars celebrations, would be shit.
I know. I know what you're saying, but there's plenty of stuff on Disney Plus. There's plenty of games. There's plenty of things. Just sometimes, like the Lando season, that's been announced. We hear nothing about it. We had the Rangers of the New Republic debacle. Obviously, we couldn't have mitigated for Gina. I assume that's why that's not moving forward. Is the Gina Carano type of stuff. I understand that, but like I said, we'll draw Landers now. Like I said, maybe me and you have a difference of opinion. Just sometimes I think they could be box a bit more cleverer when they announce stuff. But other than that, I'm still hugely excited for what's coming. So
yeah.
No,
but no, I think we just need to like let them get on with what they're doing. I think there has been some stuff that when they have been rushing ahead, like I said, it was Solo, which was a dumpster fire. And I'm not talking about the content of Solo because I think it's a good film, but I'm talking about like the story of them making it, and then also its marketing and its box office.
Believe me, like on my list of, I'm pretty positive on Star Wars. On my list of whinges, the movies aren't even close. If I was going to whinge about anything, it'd be about the games. That's my biggest whinge about Star Wars. So, but yeah, like I said, I'm hugely excited. But when we get a movie, we'll get a movie. But like I said, I'm overall happy with what they're doing. Like I said, if I was going to whinge about anything, it'd be about the games. If you know what I mean.
Definitely. But I think, we will get a movie soon. Like, and when we do, hopefully it'll be fantastic. But I think we'll have to give them the breathing space to go and make that movie.
Like I said, I'd rather them take 10 years if it means a decent Star Wars movie than 3 for a crap one.
Yeah.
Not crap, but rushed, if you know what I mean.
Which movie do you think we will get next?
Ooh, I don't know. I've obviously seen the stuff about Rogue Squadron, potentially. Potentially Rogue Squadron if they are in active development. Like I said, they've got, when is it? Is it December 2025? The next slated Star Wars film, whatever that'll be.
I think it's a 2023 one. I mean, I'm not saying they could shoot something and get it out there in time, but
I think they've cancelled that slate. That's not happening now. So I think the next one is December 2025. So
yeah,
they've got 3 odd years. So yeah, like I said, maybe Rogue Squadron. We don't know how long. Far along they are with different projects. They might announce. The next movie might be something we haven't heard of yet. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. Anyway, I think obviously Patty Jenkins obviously now from her statement is now a bit more free to work on Star Wars. So that might be a thing where if it's developed enough, they might just go and greenlight it and move ahead. I think Taika's one. I know he was writing the script with I think it's Kirsty Keynes who did 1917. Obviously, very good script writer. So that might be one way. If the script's done, it might be just waiting for him to be freed up again. I'm not sure what he's working on, but he works on a lot of stuff, not just Marvel product. If you look at his, Jojo Rabbit, Academy Award for script.
Yeah, there's a lot of independent stuff in it as well. So.
Yeah, and then obviously, I know obviously what they do in the shadows. He's a big part of that. So he's very, very busy. Obviously got his very successful partner Rita Ora, who he does a lot of work with as well. So I imagine he's quite busy.
Is he Rita Ora?
He is indeed, yeah.
I had no idea. All right, sounds.
Indeed.
I had no idea.
Yes. So there's a great documentary actually. Louis Theroux. I can't remember the exact title, but essentially Louis Theroux has a conversation with I think it's about 6 different people, but he has one with Rita Ora, but Taika pops in.
Oh yeah, I've seen the ones with Stormzy and Judi Dench and that. Yeah, I've seen them.
So yeah, there's a Rita Ora which is actually quite cool actually, and then obviously and then Taika pops in as well, and he has he's there being quite Taika-ish, quite fun. It's quite cool. So there's that. I think like one that we've heard about but like never actually seen anything concrete is obviously this Kevin Feige movie that apparently could be happening. But again, other than actually I've never actually seen that ever officially announced, to be honest with you.
No, I don't think it has been officially announced. I think it was just obviously leaked that that's what he's working on. I think he has said in interviews that he is working on a Star Wars film.
Yeah, so I think there's three things there. I suppose that could happen. So it'll be interesting to see. I think another cool thing, I suppose, that like what I've enjoyed seeing is with the TV series they've been announcing, and then you sort of before you know it, like I said with Acolyte. You sort of heard that they're casted it, and you heard that they were probably shooting it, and then obviously these images leaked. All of a sudden, then it's very real. Do you know what I mean? So I think it'll happen quite quickly. When it does, it'll be like, all right, yeah, like this is the movie title. Like he has the first.
I'm with you. I do like when they put out the official casting things. They did that with the Acolyte because that's how we found out Trinity from the Matrix. I can't remember her real name. Is in it obviously.
Carrie-Anne Moss.
Carrie-Anne Moss is in it. Yeah, so I do like when they put out the official. They did it with Kenobi as well, didn't they? So I hope they carry on in that vein of like you said. It's better to get out there and put stuff out there first before. You're never going to stop leaks. You're never going to stop. Obviously, if they're shooting on location, in the volume you can control it a lot more because you're not out and about. But if you're out and about, there's always going to be people there with cameras. This stuff's always going to happen. But
yeah,
I do like it when we see official stuff.
Definitely. He has one for you, Carrie-Anne Moss. Obviously, do you think she's going to be a goodie or baddie?
This is the thing. I'm not sure. If I had to put money on it, I'd say a baddie. But I don't really know what I base that on. I just think she'll play a baddie.
One of the ones where you've seen her in. Obviously, Matrix is a good guy. I think, or a good woman. But you've seen her in she was in Jessica Jones as one of Jessica.
She was, wasn't she? Yeah, of course
Jessica
she was.
Jones' friend, but then also had some questionable
Motives.
character arc and motives there. Yeah, so I think she could do both. So it'll be
I
interesting.
totally forgot she was in Jessica Jones. I really did.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. If she's actually, she could be a bit of both even.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of thriller type things. I think obviously with the synopsis being a Jedi and his Padawan investigating murders that obviously lead to a greater thing. It's going to be very subterfuge and all that type of. If you know what I mean.
What I'm excited about is that not so much the fact that the Jedi are investigating the murders, but the fact that if these are murders and they're all connected and it's like a serial killer and it's a Sith thing, who are the Sith killing in regards to why are they doing it and what payoff is it going to have 100 years later? Because you guarantee it will. This will be part of the game plan. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it's
The
very
Sith.
intriguing.
The Sith operate from the shadows. In Legends, Darth Maul used to go around murdering a lot of people. So obviously this is before Darth Maul's time. You must think those murders leave some sort of thread.
Yeah, definitely. And just because Maul was doing that, obviously before Maul, someone else was doing it for them.
That's what I mean. He murdered all of Black Sun basically in Legends, Darth Maul. So you think I'm hugely excited for this show. I think it'll be really good. Like I said, anything dark side related, I am a sucker for anything dark side related. I'm very much, if I had a choice, I'd be very much Sith. So I'm hugely excited. I hope we see. Let's say going into rumours and speculation. I hope we see stuff like Exegol. I hope we see stuff like Korriban or Morriban, depending on what they want to call it. Obviously, it was Korriban in Legends, but George didn't like the name Korriban, so he changed it to Morriban, which is his right. And maybe potentially see old Sith Lords, holocrons like Revan, Darth Bane. I think if it's a show about the Sith, I do think people like Darth Bane need to have a presence, if you know what I mean.
Definitely. I think we'll see them all. I think we'll see Exegol, we'll see Morriban. There's another homeworld I can't remember the title of. There's a second one. So I think we'll see them all.
Roman costs and all that type of stuff, and from the old Legend stuff. And
I think we'll see the Sith Eternal. I think we'll see. Yeah. I don't think we'll see Ochi because I don't think Ochi will be about. But I think we'll see that fraternity of Sith assassins could be doing some of these murders.
Yeah, but you think obviously the Sith, according to the Jedi, have been extinct for 1,000 years. In Legends, that was when Darth Bane obviously destroyed the rest of the Sith Lords and then created the Rule of Two. So they're still going to be using the Rule of Two at this point. So hugely excited to see some of these. Who would you? That's a good. People are. Who would you? If we ever saw Darth Bane in the flesh, who would you cast as Darth Bane?
Oh, that is it.
It's really obvious to say Dave Bautista just because he looks a bit like him, but no, I don't want to go that obvious.
I think Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, yeah. But people go, is that just because he played? No, but I think Tom Hardy be good. You need, obviously in Legends, he was a big, bald, muscular geezer, so you need someone who could carry that. Unless they totally changed his look, which, sure, I'm guessing, as long as it worked, but I'd prefer him to keep it closer to the Legends version. Same with Darth Plagueis. Darth Plagueis will be interesting because he was a moon in Legends, but we've seen no canon depiction of what he is. Obviously, we know he is canon because of Revenge of the Sith. and but I hope they do keep him as a Moon if he's in the show. Like I said, he might not be in the show.
Yeah, I don't know, I think Darth Bane, I think Tom Hardy's
but
the name that comes to mind straight away.
yeah, he was excited.
Who else?
Revan's easy because he's just a geezer in a mask.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think now.
But there's so many. I'll keep vamping by you. There's so many Sith Lords from the old EU that I'd love to see on thing. Darth Andedu, Exar Kun, Darth Malak, obviously Darth Revan's apprentice who portrays him in the Knights of the Republic. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't played that game.
Yeah.
It came out like 2004, so I think I'm all right to say that.
Do you think?
But like I said, I'm hugely excited to whatever we get dark side related.
I think speaking of Darth Bane, so I don't know. I'm sure you can make him look the part, but I think someone who has the physical presence to be him, someone like a Ron Perlman.
I have no idea who that is, to be fair.
So he's in. So he played Hellboy in the.
Oh, okay. Ron Perlman. I think you said Ron Pillman. Yeah, Ron Perlman. Yeah. So someone has to have that physical.
Yeah.
Presence though, because he has to be intimidating. Obviously,
definitely, he's very intimidating in a lot of different roles he plays. So I could imagine maybe Ron Perlman, maybe. But
that'd be good. Yeah. Like I said, hugely excited.
But yeah, so obviously we've talked about Patty Jenkins, we've talked about Acolyte. Obviously something we spoke about on the show last week. Obviously, I've not had a chance to hear your thoughts yet, Ian. Obviously, the Jedi Survivor, so the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order. We've had the sort of proper trailer. What were your thoughts on the trailer and how excited are you for the game?
Really, really good. It was good to see a bit of gameplay in the trailer. Like I said, I really enjoyed Fallen Order. Fallen Order is probably my second favourite, second or third favourite Star Wars game. Obviously, I'll always love the Force Unleashed because I'm just a massive Galen Marek fan. I always will be. And I'll do like Knights of the Republic. But no, Fallen Order was quality. The trailer, hugely excited. I was excited to see different types of enemies. There was a lot of B1 battle droids. I think there was some B2s in there as well, and the old commando droids. So it's exciting to see that we'll be going up against battle droids. It just widens the variety of enemy, which is cool because there was a point where in the Fallen Order it was just like Imperials and creatures, so that'd be cool just to see a bit more variety with enemies. Also, we saw the Imperial Sentry droid, which I think is a precursor to the Dark Troopers, and we see them in Rebels in the Winkathu job, which is really cool. The gameplay looked really good. I do like the fact we can use creatures now. I saw obviously you riding a creature and obviously using one to fly, which is really good. I do. Apparently, you're going to be able to use a blaster in this game, which I just think brings a new, more fun gameplay element. As much as I like using a lightsaber, it'd be cool just to mix things up. The overarching bad guy, I literally know nothing about him. Like you said, the guy in the tank, I think he will be the bad guy. I do think there will be Inquisitors though in this game. Obviously, we see the line from Seer saying, making yourself the Empire's most wanted. So the Empire is still very much after Cal at this point, 5 years on from Jedi Fallen Order. So yeah, hugely excited. I love the first game. I've already got Jedi Survivor pre-ordered. So hugely excited to see what's next. Didn't see Merrin, which I don't think there's going to be no Merrin or Grease or anything in the game. I just think they'll probably save that. They don't want to reveal everything all at once because then what's really the point? So yeah, huge excitement.
Yeah, I think for me, very good point you brought up there about that Star Wars found family aspect. Grease and Merrin. I think it will be in the game. I don't think they'll be at the beginning. I think it'll be a case of I think they'll come together halfway through towards the end as like a found family again. I think they'll probably be doing their own things a little bit, but they'll come together at the end to sort of take on the enemy. I think obviously Sierra Junda's sort of building a sort of Jedi library in a Zephyr type environment. It was very cool to see the Zephyr was there.
Yeah. Like I said, Jocasta Nu in the comics did something very much similar. After Order 66, she created like a little Jedi enclave on a planet, and then years later, Luke Skywalker finds that Jedi enclave in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So that's a huge thing. So I don't think it's the same place, to be honest. I really don't. But
I think it looks like it's on one of them Zeffo worlds, and she's got one of those Zeffo peacekeepers next to her. No, the Zeffo Guardians.
I don't think that's I think it's Zeffo garb. I don't think the actual person's a Zeffo, because the Zeffo had much larger heads and all that. Obviously, we don't see under the thing, but just a Zeffo present. I don't think that we'll be going after the Zeffo in anything in this game, but I just think it's nice to have a callback to the first game, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think she set that up on like in a Zeffo place. She's got the Zeffo Guardian there. I think the Zeffos are long dead. I think that's where she set up, because the Zeffos are secret, obviously. So Empire don't know where the Zeffos are. So it's probably a very safe place to have this Jedi enclave.
I think it was heavily implied that they went into the unknown regions after. I do think they're almost extinct, but there is potential like, they're in the unknown. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah, go on, mate.
What did you make of the sort of this new character Carl's going to interact with and possibly double team with?
Bode. I think his name's Bode. I think that's what they said in the when I saw the breakdown of the trailer.
Yeah.
Cool. Like I said, another companion. They're always going to bring like new companions into the games, because just to keep it a bit fresh. But I hope, though, obviously the double teams, I hope we can do that with like Merrin, because that's the main thing. The main one I wanted to play as after Fallen Order was Merrin. I think it'd be very cool to play as a Night Sister and use the Night Sister's magic as a mechanic in the game. I think that would be pretty cool.
And how excited are you to get Cal Kestis figure with the blaster?
Really cool, yeah. Like I never got a Cal Kestis figure the first time round. They sold out quite quick, to be fair. I just hope. One thing I do hope is that the villain is as memorable as the second sister, because I thought she Trilla Sundari. I thought she was really, really a really, really good villain. Obviously, not really a villain, yes, because obviously she does bad things. But come the end, she was very. You could tell her motives. Obviously, her master had abandoned her in her own view. And then having Darth Vader as your boss obviously probably is enough to scare you to do the thing the Empire wants you to do. Definitely. So yeah, I just hope the villain. There's a great degree of like intrigue around the villain, though, because we have no idea who he is. Like if he was the Grand Inquisitor and all that type of thing, then we just know like, the Grand Inquisitor survives if all that. But obviously, because it's a villain we've never seen, potential villain anyway. I think that's very good.
Is the man at the back of the tank who we think might be the villain? Do you think he's High Republic era?
That would be really cool. Like I said, I don't know how connected the Jedi Survivor and obviously the people at the High Republic are. I think it would be cool though, because he intimates that he was abandoned by someone he trusted the most, and he talks about the Order. So I assume he is a Force user, potentially a Jedi. So potentially in the High Republic era, he was left, and then something happened. I'm not sure, but it would be cool if he was a High Republic character, because then if he's just another Jedi who survived the Clone Wars and all that, it's not very fresh, if you know what I mean. But if he's from the High Republic and he's been stuck in a back to tank for God knows 200, 300, 400 years, then yeah, that'd be a really cool swap from just a normal Jedi survivor of the Clone Wars.
Definitely, I think that's what I'm leaning towards at the minute. I think lastly, controlling the animals and using animals, I think again, very cool. He showed you that aspect of being able to bond with the animals using the Force and using the ride, travel in, probably using the fight with as well. Very much about Ezra in Rebels and how he has a big connection with animals.
That was my one thing about the Jedi Fallen Order. Obviously, it's not quite the Jedi way to go around slaughtering all these animals. So if we can work with them a bit more, then I think that'll be. Obviously, some of them you are using self-defense and all that. Yeah. But sometimes it is a bit like, I get why, because obviously it's enemies to fight, but sometimes it is a bit like, he is just like chopping down animals left, right, and centre.
And then last one for you on the game, will we see the return of Ogdo Bogdo?
Oh no, I hope not. God knows. I really hope not. He was a pain in the ass.
He was indeed a big lad.
He was. He was a pain in the ass. When we talk about returning characters, obviously a more serious one, I do think we'll see the Ninth Sister again. Obviously, you defeat her on Kashyyyk, but no way do I think she's dead.
Yes, that was very like there's no body. They were very clever. It was very clear you see no body of the Ninth Sister.
Yeah, because if you go back there after and you go back to the top of the tree and you stand there is like a little comment Cal says of this, do you think she's really gone? And they're like, well, you don't know. Like, it's left vague and open-ended.
Yep.
But potentially, does she, if the Empire, because none of the Inquisitors are really happy to be Inquisitors, deep down, because you can really tell. Does she think, now that the Empire thinks I'm dead, this is my chance to escape? That'd be a cool thing, and we've come back and find her, potentially not as a good person, because I don't think she would be a goodie, but doing her own thing. I think that'd be a cool dynamic.
Definitely. Could be bounty hunting, could be...
Yeah, could be a crime boss, could be just chilling somewhere.
Could just be a farmer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because none of them are happy to be Inquisitors. Let's be brutally honest. They're not.
Yeah.
But it was either this or die. So...
Yes, indeed. And then, so we had the Jedi Survivor trailer. We've also had the Bad Batch Season 2 trailer. What's your excited for Bad Batch Season 2? And what are you most excited about seeing?
Commander Cody, number one. Everyone's wondered about that since Revenge of the Sith. And obviously, since the Clone Wars debuted, what happened to Commander Cody post Revenge of the Sith? And what does he think about the Jedi? That'll be really cool. I hope. In the trailer, it's looking like he's starting to have some doubts about the Empire and all that type of thing. So that'd be cool. I do worry, though, because we didn't see him in Rebels, so potentially he might go out in a blaze of glory protecting someone. Seeing Palpatine in the Senate in the trailer, that looks really cool. It looks like, as the trailer goes on, the Batch are heading for Coruscant, and I do wonder what the reason would be for them heading to Coruscant. Obviously, you think they want to get as far away from the Imperial Centre as thing. And one cool thing I did notice is in one of the trailers they are in Count Dooku's old castle on Sereno, which is really cool. I've always wondered what happened to that place, or Sereno in general, after the Clone Wars, because obviously Count Dooku was one of the leaders of the CIS, so hugely excited. Gunji with a lightsaber, it's cool to see. I wonder if any more of the Padawans are there, because they were all part of a group in the Clone Wars arc. So... yeah, huge excitement.
Yeah, man, I think there's so much potential for this show. I think it's going to be a wild ride. I think it's going to take us from different places in the galaxy. We're going to see a wide range of like planets and how it's being affected by the Empire and what's happening on these worlds throughout the galaxy. I'm really, really excited about it.
One thing I really do want to see is Delta Squad as potentially being villains. Obviously, the people who don't know, Delta Squad is the probably if you listen to this, you probably do know, but Delta Squad is the commando team from the game Republic Commando, and I think they'd be really, really good to go up against the Batch because they are the elite of the Republic clones. So I would like to see. Obviously, we saw Scorch in Bad Batch Season 1, so it'd be good if we see Delta Squad come into the show. Or potentially they could help the Batch, and then you could go off and potentially tell stories with them. Because it is interesting, because the person who made the Republic Commando games is currently in the process of making a new first-person shooter Star Wars game. I would love that to be a new version of Republic Commando. I don't think that will be the case. I think it will be a new story, but I do think there is potential with Delta Squad in the Bad Batch and potentially a new Republic Commando game.
Yeah, if Delta Squad now works for the Empire, maybe this new game could be Delta Squad working for the Empire. That could be the story.
Well, there was the novels, the Imperial Commandos, to be fair. So
exciting times. Yeah, I think a lot of Star Wars coming over the next few weeks. Next few months even, sorry. I think we've got, come March, we'll have Mandalorian. We'll have Bad Batch Season 2. We've got, the Jedi Survivor game coming out in March as well. It's a lot of...
They've got the prequel novel as well, Jedi Survivor Battle Scars, that comes out a couple of weeks before the game.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a must-read heading into the game to fill that 5
years.
Yeah,
it tells you the 5 year, whatever happened between Fallen Order and where we find Cal in Jedi Survivor. So it'd be good I will probably smash through that before the game comes out.
Yeah.
So I do like the tie-in stuff. one of my favourite tie-in stuff was Rogue One Catalyst. I like when it's done really well because then that gave you a lot more information on who's who. Obviously, when the Rogue One came out.
Yeah, Rogue One Catalyst is a fantastic book, and
Yeah, it is. It's one of my favourite. I think who does it? Who writes Rogue One Catalyst?
was it not
I've got it.
James Lucino?
It was James Lucino. Yeah, it's behind me on the shelf. Yeah, and that was a really, really good way to tie in and give people the background on the characters in the new film.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that.
It was one of my favourite experiences. I think it really was fantastic. I think anybody who loves Rogue One, definitely go buy Catalyst, the Rogue One story, read it, and then go back watch the movie, and you'll absolutely have a fantastic time.
Yeah, because when Lyra died in Rogue One, once again spoilers if someone hasn't seen it, I doubt you listened to this show. I was like, oh god, because obviously I've spent a couple of weeks reading a novel about it, so
yeah, and I think
just a gut punch.
Just seeing Galen's journey and Krennic's journey from like Clone Wars to Imperial days as well was quite like a lot of character building, a lot of character arcs was really good as well. Seeing that.
Plus, one of my favourite stuff about it was how they went about building the Death Star, because obviously kind of keep something. They can't just all the projects that were linked, but were doing separate things for the Death Star. Like one project was working on the hyperdrive for the Death Star. One project was working on the clean energy, which was obviously Galen, which was for the super laser. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
really cool.
Definitely. I think it is December. It is Christmas time. Iain, is there anything that you really want for Christmas, Star Wars related, that you hope Santa's going to listen to this podcast and get you?
I do think I need a couple more of the Essential Legends books. I have put out there that I'd like Shatterpoint. I've never read Shatterpoint, so I would like that. Other than that, I think nothing really that stands out yet. Like I'd love, don't get me wrong, I'd love a Force of X lightsaber, but I don't think that'll be the case this year. But other than that, probably a few Star Wars books, maybe a figure or two. But other than that, mate, no, not really. Yourself?
I haven't really had a chance to think about it, to be honest with you. I think, have you seen these new, I don't know if they're called micro squadrons or something. It's like they're almost like the new play sets from Jazzwares, and it's like they're spaceships and they come with little characters. It almost reminds me of the micro machines from back in the day.
I haven't seen them, no.
So like the Millennium Falcon one looks awesome, and it's quite for a play set. I'd say it's a little bit big, but it's really not that big. So I think for real estate in the Star Wars room order you've got, like it wouldn't take a lot of space. It looks fantastic. So I know it's available in Tesco's and it's on club card price. So I'm hoping someone might pick that up for us. There's a cool little piece. But it's not just the Falcon. You get like X-wings, TIE fighters. There's stuff from all eras, I think. So I've seen prequel era stuff and original trilogy era stuff. And then there's more waves coming. They release them in like, some of them come with variants, I think. And then they're also, like, from what I've seen, the next wave. So you can get the TIE fighter, for example, and then the TIE fighter from like the mining guild use and Rebels is going to be coming soon. Them yellow ones with like some of the wing cut out. So it looks like they do a lot of different stuff from public gunships I've seen. So yeah, like I think it looks like quite a cool series. If I was a kid, I'd want them all because they look fantastic to play with. And like I said, they do everything from like Jedi Starfighter to Millennium Falcon to Slave One to X-wings to TIE fighters to Clone Wars ships. Like, and this is only like wave 1 at the minute. I think wave 2 is coming soon, but really that runs so many waves. We could see ships from sort of all different types of guilds in the galaxy coming out throughout the entire era of. They could even go and do stuff from High Republic. Do you know what I mean? They could even go and do stuff from the unknown regions. They could release stuff from Legends. So sky's the limit with that, I think. But yeah, the Falcon looks awesome, so I'll definitely get that.
Excellent, mate. Yeah, like I said, it's hugely exciting. I love Christmas, so it'd be good to see if I get any Star Wars stuff in general. So
definitely. But I think that brings an end to our episode. Iain, where can people find you on social media?
I'm on social media at Star Wars Iain on Twitter and Instagram. That's where you can find me.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Geordie Jedi Pete. You can find the podcast on Twitter at Boars Star. You can also find the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Star Wars Podcast. You'll be able to find me and Iain at Star Wars Celebration coming this Easter. Very excited to get to Star Wars Celebration and speak to all the Star Wars fans and just mingle in the awesome glory that Star Wars Celebration is. It's been too long since we had one in the UK, so we're excited to get back get back to our Star Wars roots at Star Wars Celebration, and we'll see everybody there. Anybody who's listening to the podcast, if you're listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please consider leaving us a top review. Only takes you a couple of minutes, makes us smile lots, and also helps a lot of people find the podcasts when they're searching for the podcast in lists. So, yeah, if anybody can do that, just leave a nice little review. It would be fantastic. Iain, pleasure as always, mate. Any closing thoughts?
No, as I said, I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, and it'll be good to get back with you in the new year to see, potentially talk Bad Batch, because that's out on January the 4th. I believe that's when that's out. So, yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you all have a great time.
Definitely we'll have to get together, talk about what Star Wars Christmas presents we've got, talk about what Star Wars things were found in the January sales, when the January sales happen, and obviously Bad Batch is coming, and then once Bad Batch comes, we're literally on a rolling mine train to Bad Batch, Jedi Survivor, Mandalorian Season 3, and then Star Wars Celebrations all come up within 3 months of each other, so it's going to be a very busy time.
It's a good start to the year. It's going to be a great start to the year.
A fantastic start of the year, yes, indeed. But no, listeners, thank you very much for listening. May the Force be with you all. Have a very Merry Christmas. And remember, always tell that to Kanja Club.
Hello, Star Wars listeners. This is Savannah Odit. You might know me as host of The Dorky Diva Show with my co-host Brian Balance. I am also producer of The Adventures of the Zolan Dart, which is a Star Wars-inspired audio drama that we produced over the last year. If you love stories about smugglers, courage, heroic characters, and maybe a few foes along the way, you should go to thedorkydivashow.com and listen to The Adventures of the Zolan Dart today.
Shout! We've got your pigs.
Were any of the critters harmed?
What did you do now?
I didn't do anything. I just freaked out for no reason.
It was nice doing business with you again. Maybe next time we could deliver something less temperamental.
Now, what you call temperamental, I call fun.
Hey, is there a place nearby where I can make some repairs?
3 clicks south of here, you'll find a small spaceport. They should have what you need, as long as it's nothing too big.
Dynamic class? My stars, you don't hear about many of those still being space-worthy.
It's been in my family for a while.
She's pretty great. Any chance you have a hover cart we can use to load up?
I'll check out the HoloNet to see if anything new has come up in the sector.
My name is Sereth Khan. I am the chief here on Kamai. My people and I have been experiencing food shortages as of late due to unforeseen natural occurrences. We are looking to hire someone.
I say we take this one. The pay is great, and it's the type of job we're familiar with.
Welcome. You must be Captain Otoa. I've already sent word to Pack 2 to expect you in the next cycle or so.
You told him we were coming before we even accepted the job. That's rather presumptuous, isn't it?
Perhaps, though once I received confirmation that you were interested and on your way here, I couldn't help but hope.
Fair enough. Well, we'll be back as soon as we can.
Well, that's not good.
Is that blaster fire I hear? So you're the one.
Captain, it sounds like they want to do this the hard way.
I love when they got some fight in them.
This is bad. This is bad. We're about to have a lot of company.
I'll see you soon.